Microphone check. Sound check. Sound. A very good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to this match between two of the best players from their respective countries playing at a neutral venue, perhaps taking each other on for the very first time. Now, Joseph Kasozi made a tour of Seif Hamad's country, Tanzania, just about 8 weeks ago, the whole of 8 weeks ago. He was meant to play many matches on home and away basis against Jackson, against Dula, against Seif, against Janja, against Norbert Kobero, and all Tanzanian players that were willing to give him competition. It was a little unfortunate that the tour did end before it was really supposed to have ended, because there was a match that was ended prematurely, that one that was played between Jackson and Kasozi. I hope that I'm right, and that meant that Kasozi. Now, guys, I'm sorry, every time that I will not be speaking, the audio will be mute because of the clear, loud music that you can hear in the background, which makes the stream a little bit insecure because of the application that we use, that we are YouTube. Also, my apologies to our usual Facebook audience. Today, I will not be able to stream on Facebook because Facebook is even more harsh when it comes to lots of loud music playing in the background. We've had our sixth frame of the day, dear viewers, won by Seif with the score tied now at 3 frames apiece. All the way from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, donning white, Seif Hamad, sponsored by his management team, Snipers. And by the way, he just, I think, very early last year was snatched from Q Masters to be signed by Snipers, and all the way from Kampala, but Tanzanian managed as well. Joining block is Joseph Kasozi. He's also managed by the management team that are called Q Masters based in Dar es Salaam. You get a feeling that When Seif Hamad left Q Masters to join Snipers, he was replaced by Kasozi. So, in some kind of way, this one will go down as a big rivalry, not between just Kasozi and Seif, but between Q Masters and Snipers. And once again, dear viewers, for the consequence of 3,000 US dollars, Joseph Kasozi and Seif Hamad are racing to 21. Live commentary proceeding shortly. And I have to confess, lest my memory serves me otherwise, I don't remember these two ever facing off prior to today. All I know is that there is quite some history between Saif and Ugandan players, maybe some history between Kasozi and Tanzanian players as well. In terms of money matches, Saif did make a tour of Uganda. In there, that was 2024, played a number of money matches at Addis Sports Club in Kampala as part of the 8 players that were to be part of the ATA Africa Super 8-man competition that happened in its first edition, won by the Ugandan Caesar. I remember Saif playing a money match against Dog City and losing narrowly. He also played in Uganda money matches against non-Ugandan players like Maluva, like Jerry, and results did not go his way. He has, however, been able to prove himself by having some very good performances after then, even against Ugandan players. Speak of the Tawi Open East African Championship that had 64 players from Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, as well as South Sudan, with the 8 Ugandans involved, as well as 3 Tanzanians, including Seif and Janja. The competition was won by Seif, and in the quarterfinals and semis and finals, he defeated Ugandans respectively. That was Hazard and Ian and Glorious in what remains the last international competition that has been won by Seif Hamad. As for Joseph Kasozi, his competition against Tanzanian players is still fresh on our mind. His tour of Tanzania, of course, is still fresh. When he toured the country to play many matches against the best players there, he won home and away against the best player in the country, Abdallah Hussein. Both matches he won by deciders 21-20 respectively. He lost to Janja, that is Amadeus Makidizaki, but had a match not played to completion against Steven Jackson. In this one, frame won by break and finish by Seif Hamad is Seif 4 and Kasozi 3, raised to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. Sorry, guys, the match that was supposed to have been played at this time between Rashid Bogaba Dog City and Kelvin Fikoti, that's of Uganda and Zambia respectively, had to be called off because the players did not really agree on a choice of venue. Yesterday's game was played at a different venue. Kelvin wanted the match to be played here, where this one is happening, saying that if another match is to happen, it has to be at a different venue, with Dog City nominating Jamlock as his venue and Kelvin nominating MCHANA Pub and Grill as his venue. And around 2 p.m. East African time this evening, Kelvin notified to Dog City that if he's to play, the game had to be at MCHANA. Then Dog City said, I can only play if we are playing at the same venue where we played last time round. And that is how there was disagreement, and that is why the match has been called off. That is why we are having Kasozi and Seif step in as a replacement match. Sorry. And in this one, 8 frames have been played with the Ugandan Joseph Kasozi equalizing against Tanzania's Seif Hamad. The score is 4 frames to 4. Expectation of more action tomorrow, pending confirmation, should be a rematch of action between Ibrahim Sejemba and Kelvin Fikoti. And also in another special way tomorrow, expectation is perhaps the arrival of the guy that I called the latest arrival, the very last arrival into Kenya of Africa's best players, that is a certain Mr. Caesar Chaniga, who will be coming from Bolton in the United Kingdom. But only that as a disclaimer, if he arrives, there may be yet another arrival that could happen right at the end of the week, as now Aiden Joseph seems to be picking interest in what is happening here in Kenya. That is just pending confirmation, dear viewers. So the match between Jerry and Caesar that has a poster out that is supposed to be happening this Saturday is now hanging in the balance because Jerry is not feeling fine. Back neck, that side of the back neck. That's why today is perhaps having bed rest. If he's fine by Saturday, the match could go on. If he's not, he could advise otherwise. While we enjoy the talents of these guys, of course, they are human beings. Their health matters more than anything else. Quick recovery, champion Jerry. As Seif could be recovering from the equalizer by Joseph Kasozi and by Seif himself, perhaps taking away the win of frame number 9. He has the work of 4 yellows, and they seem to be palatable, they seem to be finishable. The frame for Seif seems to be winnable, and his lead, Seif, seems to be gainable. Wanting now to put yellow to the center pocket on the left, everything will just be working on itself as long as he maintains potting prowess. And will perhaps be starting with the yellow that is leftwards of the 2. A little backspin, but in right motion for the cue ball to move rightwards. Plays it off the cushion. It could be a little bit troublesome for him. If you look at the position of white in relation to yellow, of course he puts yellow to the corner pocket top left. The cue ball is, however, almost naturally played into 1 or 2 of Kasozi's reds. That could disturb its movement towards the black. He plays the cue ball into the red, bounces it off the cushion a little as a chase of recovery. He now intends to put black to the corner pocket bottom right. Can go direct, can play it off the red. All he needs is just to be on target. He'll be asking fans seated behind for a little bit more space for the Tanzanian to try and put and take the lead for what will be the second time in the match. Seif Hamad, the Ghost Rider, versus the black to make it a fifth to regain the lead for himself, for Tanzania, for snipers as he aims and shoots and puts. Seif Hamad 5, Joseph Kasozi 4, race to 21. As Jackson Magera, watching from the Facebook, from the YouTube stream, thank you for watching. John Starema asking if there is another match after this today. The answer I can tell you is no. There have been 2 other matches ongoing. It's not yet done between Jackson Steven of Tanzania and Evans Kiprotich of Kenya, still happening on one of the tables. But today there has been a first defeat for a Ugandan female player against the Kenyan female player, ladies category, racing to 11 for 20,000 Kenya shillings. There has been victory for Kenya's finest. She's called the Penina and Jockey Penina Rose. We just call her PR. She defeated Michelle by 11 frames, if I am not mistaken, to 6. And those two have agreed to have a rematch, perhaps this coming Sunday, right here. But Haringanya asking when Caesar is playing. I cannot give you an answer for now. He has a match scheduled against Kelvin this coming Sunday, but the match between himself and Jerry that is meant to be happening this coming Saturday is in suspense because Jerry is not fine health-wise. Jackson Magera, thank you for watching, supporting Team Kasozi, and Charles Pavins reminding us to like the stream, but Charles will not be liking how Kasozi is controlling his keyboard. He has got him to scratch yet again. I think it's the second time in the same frame after the break, a frame that is being played at a relatively very low level, and for both players 5 frames to 4. Seif Hamad, the Ghost Rider, leads against Joseph Kasozi, the sharpshooter. Our umpire of the day is Joseph Mugisha, a member of the MCHANA pool club staff, also a former member of the national Kenya pool team, nowadays a referee both for football and pool. He's one of the better referees for football that Kenya has got. He is a referee in the Kenya's Elite Football League. In the meantime, if Kasozi loses this match, it is only imperative for him to really take it upon himself that this is a failed tour. That's just my opinion. He has played 3 matches so far, has lost 3. Defeat in the first match to Ishmael Mtetwa, I think it was 21 frames to 19. Defeat in the second match against Ishmael Mtetwa, I think it was 21 frames to 17. Defeat in the third match against Jackson Steven by 21 frames to 18. That is a little too wanting, most especially if you are ranked first by the association that governs the official competitions in your own country. And Joseph has a matter of 4 reds, 2 of them positioned well enough, 2 of them not. As he puts one now to the corner pocket bottom left, he will be having his mind on the red that is right in front of yellow near the corner pocket top right. He is moving the cue ball somewhere where he can perhaps try and attempt a combination shot, try to put both yellow with red following yellow into the corner pocket at the top right. If he does so, there is every reason to believe that he's winning the frame. Here comes the combination. It's a foul. It looked so playable. It looked relatively easy. He has blown the chance away by coming short in terms of the skill set. And now the chance comes for Seif to complete the first set of the match by winning the very last set and establishing a 2-frame lead for what will be the very first time in the match. Having the 2 yellows. As for a free shot, Seif nominated to put Kasozi's red. I'm not so certain he's played the cue ball well enough. Unless he puts the ball, perhaps he will, then play the cue ball into yet another yellow. He plays the cue ball into another yellow. It's very good shooting. What will not be certain is the position of the black if he were to put yellow to the closest pocket. That will be the center pocket left. In its natural movement, the cue ball moves a little bottomwards, and just black is close to the side pocket right. If it's to draw the cue ball backwards, it has to be with too much right spin, such that it doesn't move so bottomwards. There's a choice of playing the cue ball against the cushion. He plays it rightwards. That will do, but Black is playable with a little bit more difficulty. Of course, going for red drive, aiming to be on target. He's asking Joseph Kasozi to sit down, as though sit down, don't make me uncomfortable. As Seif aims again, the idea is to put black to the corner pocket top right to regain, to establish a two-frame lead. He has a relatively very good stroke. He's seemingly not yet content, even with his choice of shot. There was as well the choice to put black to the corner pocket bottom left. It will give him natural white for black. If he put red to the corner pocket bottom right, bottom left, cue ball will be better for black now. It needs to be way better in terms of target practice. It's bigly off. You just get the feeling the amount of time that it took before making the shot was always playing on his own mind. It will be Kasozi's turn to play safety against Seif. It will be Seif's turn to play a shot that could be to the advantage of his opponent, who simply plays his red, not to pot it, waiting for a chance for Seif to play the black and not pot it, and Kasozi hopefully for himself pot the two reds and then the black and then take the frame, which now will turn into an equalizer. But only if Seif misses the black. He may have to go for power. Realistically speaking, maybe the chance of playing the black off the top cushion, play it into the corner pocket bottom right. That is realistic, not easy at all. Also, to play black off two cushions, that is top cushion and right cushion, to move to the corner pocket bottom left where Seif is having his body. It can go in direct where there is the red, there is enough space. Maybe that's the shot he's trying to play. That is off the top cushion, off the left cushion, into the corner pocket where he's having his head. Off one cushion, could go in. He almost got lucky there, but not lucky enough. What he did so well was not to give his opponent easy white to put either of the two reds left on the table. And it will be difficult for Kasozi here. He will simply have to play his ball, the red, into space, and then hope that Seif doesn't put the black. Also tempting that he can play it by bank into the corner pocket bottom right where there is the black. Either to put the black or either to put the red or occupy the corner pocket and make it difficult for Seif to put the black. Better still, just play the red in space, just like that. Leave the cue ball hanging for Seif, but with a lot of difficulty. The black is cuttable. The left cut of the black could play it into the corner pocket bottom right, and Seif seemingly could be going for the shot, or better still, trying to play the bank off the cushion into the top corner pocket of that shot, goes for the cut and gets it in. Cue ball is safe. Seif wins the frame in the best way possible. Joseph Kasozi 4 and Seif Hamad 6. Race to 21. Dear viewers, you are watching the continuation of a match between two of the best players from their respective countries. Tanzanian international Seif Hamad donning white and Ugandan international Joseph Kasozi donning black. I just have a feeling that Kasozi is deliberately wearing black. He is mourning the defeat in 3 money matches at the same time. I have never seen that happening, not even in his own home country, not away from home. It has just never happened that way. He's a relatively good long racer. 3 races in a row, all ending in defeat, will really be hurting. He equalizes after 12 frames. Joseph Kasozi 6, Seif Hamad 6. Expectation tomorrow of maybe Dula versus Ishmael, no confirmation about that. Maybe Ibra versus Kelvin, not yet final confirmation about that, and pending the arrival of Caesar Chandiga to cause a little bit of more trouble in Nairobi. 6 frames apiece as umpire Joseph Mugisha racks frame number 13 with a 2 minutes timeout being granted to Seif. 6-6, rest to 21. And there goes the break of frame number 13, broken by Kasozi Joseph. He wants to gain the lead, and I'm having a very happy sight at the venue. At least Jeremiah Naido has arrived. We just had a minor, call it a minor operation yesterday. Of course, an operation is an operation. There is a sign that he was operated a swelling around his neck. But I'm so happy that he's come at the venue and all on his own. Maybe the game against himself and Caesar is still on anyway. But also taking the lead for Kasozi is on. He wants to play red. Rightwards of the two, roll it right against the cushion. Cue ball, natural for it, another red. Perfect shooting. The position of the black does warrant that it is easiest possible, maybe to the corner pocket top left. By Kasozi simply drawing the cue ball backwards. Maybe play it off the right cushion a little. He's perhaps going for some kind of top spin. He chooses instead to play black to the corner, to the center pocket at the side left to gain the lead after winning a 3rd straight frame. Joseph Kasozi now leads by 7 frames to 6. He seems not to be even sure of what he's doing. That comes at 3 money matches lost in a row. Joseph Kasozi 7 and Seif Hamad 6. And Namakata mixed fans, you say Kasozi and Kelvin had to stay in Tanzania, go away. By the way, at one time I was suggesting to both that they can play money match against each other, and whoever wins will be getting a win for the first time and a very necessary confidence booster ahead of other matches to happen. But maybe Kelvin will first want to sort unfinished business with the Ibrahimos, especially after that defeat yesterday that was followed up by a war of words against that the fans of Ibra did inflict upon him this early morning, especially using the victory picture of Ibra, applying artificial intelligence on it, and as if he was like a chief justice who was judging a case for Kelvin for whatever reason. And Kelvin, when I showed it to him, said, okay, let us see who will have the last laugh as long as they don't run away from me. Kelvin versus Ibra tomorrow, same venue, same time, MCHANA Pubman Grill. There seems to have been a miss by Kasozi. I'm not even certain it was a foul or not. Umpire Joseph Mugisha will advise. I may have to play the video a little backwards just for confirmation. He was going for the yellow, which he misplayed the cue ball into the red. The only way it wouldn't be a foul was if the table were to still be open by the time the shot was taken. And Nash Shafi is asking, what do these players eat these days? You say Kasozi is too poor. Someone is playing 3,000 points, you are saying it's too poor. Come on. These guys, some of them are well managed. And I'm telling you, for instance, Kasozi, he was very well managed by Roxbury, also very well facilitated. And then by moving to Q Masters, you just get a feeling they even were offering more. So these guys are relatively okay. He also has work at home, which I know, and he had to abandon work to come and be a part of this tour. That means that this tour somehow is paying off. In Tanzania, he played 3 matches, winning 2, losing 1. But again, he told me there are other matches that he played where the opponents did not want live stream, and he won them. 2 of them they were. And the 2 matches that he won had a lot of side business. In fact, a lot more side business or side staking than what was in the stake. So most especially coming from Tanzania, he was okay. Seif as well is well managed, well facilitated. You don't leave a management team like Q Masters if you are not given a very good offer. He is on the reds. Utilizing what was the foul from Kasozi, may have to play red into another as he gets support. The frame is slowly but steadily starting to look very finishable for Seif. The red close to the yellow at the left side of the table is portable to the corner pocket bottom left. It may have to be played with a lot of precision to avoid the yellow. Better still, play it off the left cushion and then off the yellow. Going direct, which he does, and plays the cue ball into the black, but he seems to have gotten himself snookered. That is one of the times when you play a shot so well, but you are not fortunate with its end result. Seif Hamad is snookered. Even finding the angle of the top cushion is a little too tricky because he may find it he may play into the black directly. He may have some slight side of the red. Maybe may play it direct. He could even be attempting to pot it. I'm not so certain he can. He wasn't ever going to pot. His intention was to play red to occupy the pocket, which hasn't come to pass. But at least he has been a little bit defensive. He was a little safe because Kasozi's yellow is now behind the red and it looks like a bad ball. Kasozi gets support again. A frame that he may be tempted to go for, but winning it with his current visit of the table will realistically be not an easy thing to do. Combination comes short. His intention again was to play the cue ball into the red and put the red of Seif. He was able to play the cue ball into the red. Somehow the red did not go in. Still wants to go for the frame and go for it now. Plays the cue ball into yellow behind the black. Creates another opening to try and win the frame and win it now. The yellow now, which is behind the red, is the only big problem ball of all 3 that are left on the table. He may want to put it to the side pocket on the left, maybe bank it to the corner pocket. Is instead opting to play the yellow that is in between the 3 and misses only just. Sometimes the difference between victory and defeat, like I always say, can really mean to be very minimal, because as close as Kasozi was to winning the frame, he's even closer to losing the same frame, with Seif having 2 reds on the table, wanting now to put one into another, put the one that is parked at the corner pocket by connection. And with this last shot, he has to play a simple roll with a little left spin on the cue ball, moves the cue ball pretty much perfect to put black to the corner pocket, top right of the screen. Just like that, the rest is a formality in a properly contested match. And after 14 frames of play in the Tanzanian battle between Q Masters and Snipers, it is Joseph Kasozi now 7 and Seif Hamad 7 raised to 21 for $3,000. One thing that I'm really loving about this match is it could also work out as one of the most competitive ones that we have had. So many of them, they have been about maybe 8, maybe 10 that have really been neck to neck up to the very last. Because the two matches between Ishmael and Dog City, actually three matches between Ishmael and Dog City have been neck to neck. They include also one that ended 21 frames to 19, 40 frames played, and of the 40, 21 were apples, red and green respectively. That is the highest number of apples I have ever streamed in one match. It were, I think, 11 apples for Ishmael and 10 for Dog City. The one that was played about 2 weeks ago, right here. Then the first match between Ishmael and Kasozi, very close and very competitive. Almost all matches between Ishmael and Jula. The match between Dog City and Kelvin, very competitive. The first one, very competitive, very entertaining. And of course, the match between Dog City and the Kenyan, that is Patrick Mwangi VP, that had so many uppers. When it went to 17 racing to 21, then Dog City won the remaining 4 frames. But there was no doubt in the amount of entertainment and stiff competition all through up to the end. Now to equalize again in the match, and he seemingly could. Now with the 2 reds on the table, one of them portable to the corner pocket top left, another could pass into the side pocket left. I am not certain though, because it is partly occupied by Kasozi's yellow. There's another option of putting the red that is close to the center to the corner pocket bottom left. It's just ball a little backwards. He probably believes that the red is possible. Of course, if it passes, probably winning the frame and winning it now. He may have to chip the pocket a little. It could go in, but it could also goes for the corner pocket where there is the black. And very unfortunate that Seif misses. He was just slightly off target. And believe you me, for standard Optima table, when you play to pot, it goes in. When you play not to, it pays you back in the same currency. When you are on target, you are. When you are not on target, you aren't. And the sharpshooter is now clearly taking a 2-frame lead for what will be, I think, the first time in the match. The only problem ball of 3 yellows on table is the one that is just behind the black. Maybe it is portable to the corner pocket bottom right, depending on how good he plays the cue ball. Now he has to play it with a little top spin. He has played very well. A little top spin for the cue ball to move just a little bottomward where the other yellow is. He will be winning the frame. He will be rolling yellow to the corner pocket bottom right, drawing the cue ball maybe backwards off the left cushion and rightwards, and the rest is a formality. A match that has very steep competition has Kasozi now slightly as the more competitive player. Seif, Hamad 7, Joseph Kasozi 9, rest to 21 for $3,000. It is now 7 frames to 10, dear viewers. Of course, Seif will still be believing that he can do this, but the scoreline is starting to go a little bit big. He doesn't have to let it go. A match that was neck to neck from frame number 1 until it was 7-7. That is when Kasozi won 3 frames in a row. Seif could respond here. A match that is playing really fast. I believe that you guys are really getting entertained. The players are shooting at a very good level, and they all want to give us the game. They want to take each other on. They want to demonstrate who is man enough in terms of going for the match, in terms of offense, in terms of putting the balls, in terms of drawing the key ball. And Seif Hamad is responding to Apple with the Apple. He will be putting the last yellow on the table to the corner pocket, bottom left, then they draw the key ball slightly backwards, not to put black to the center pocket right, just like that. This one is surely done. I love the speed, I love the composure, I love the determination to go for the game by attack. I love the apples, I love the clearances. I love Seif, I love Kasozi. 8 frames to 10. Joseph Kasozi is in the lead. I'm lost for count in terms of number of apples in this match so far. Motekela, is it? I'm sorry for murdering your name. Motete Kareli, you're asking something about a match between Dula and Jerry. Dula Jerry, not yet confirmation, but I believe it will be happening. Dula still has some business with Ishmael, one more match. Yeah, and he said that should Ishmael win, then he may invite him again. Ishmael has finally met his equal in terms of who a diehard can mean to be. For Jerry, he's supposed to be having action against Caesar this coming Saturday. That is it. And then Caesar to take on both Dula and Kelvin on Monday and Sunday, respectively. And thereafter, unless chairman does decide to surprise us, because this is me thinking about chairman could surprise us in a good way. When all these guys around, he may throw in money and then have us a 16-man competition. After all, why not? If not, my expectation is that after those matches, we could be having, if Aiden comes, also play a money match or 2 or 3 from this weekend up to early next week, and thereafter I do expect to be returning home after a month well spent here in Kenya. I've enjoyed it. Even the challenges have been nice. By the way, challenges are nice when you like what you do. 8 frames to 10. Tanzania's Seif Hamad leading against Uganda's Joseph Kasozi. In a country where it has been so successful for Seif, he has reached a final of one big tournament and lost it. He has also won a tournament here and reached semi-finals of another, maybe 2 more semi-finals by the way. For Seif Hamad, he reached the semi-finals of the Africa Super 16-man competition that was organized here last year, sponsored by Chairman. And then he reached the final of the Grand MCHANA 2023, losing out to the Ugandan Ibra. He also reached the final of the Tawi Open Pool Championship in 2024, winning against Uganda's Senyonjo Glorious, who was also a semi-finalist in the Africa 16-man competition that was organized at Club Timbuktu in Eldoret last year. And he's coming within 1 frame of Kasozi, with 2 frames being won by Apples red and green respectively. The Tanzanian is now potting black to the side pocket right, hoping to draw the cue ball into the reds and maintain safety and wins the frame, and comes within 1. Joseph Kasozi 10, Seif Hamad 9, race to 21. 9-10, Kasozi leading, but leading only just about 10 minutes ago, maybe less. He was having a 3-frame lead. Since then, Seif has cut it to just one. If Seif wins this one, it will be an equalizing frame, and then we shall have an official race to 11. Now, this is one thing I can tell you. There's another match happening on another table. Match is live. I think live at MCHANA Polo Club YouTube channel. It was it was 2 hours of play in that match. No, 2.5 hours of play in that match between Jackson and Evans. But now it is 12 frames to 10. When this match started, 2.5 hours after. Some players can mean to be, yeah, can mean to be slow, not in the bad sense of slow, but they can really mean to take time before playing. Now Kasozi may want to play the cue ball into the yellow part at the corner pocket at the bottom. Maybe not. There is a sharp cut between white and red as he wants to play it by rail drive. Bounce the cue ball off the cushion, plays the cue ball into the yellow, plays the yellow just in front of the red, and now plays the frame in favor of his opponent. What he needed was to be on target, but better still, even before the shot having been taken, he ought to have considered playing the cue ball into the yellow. If he had, the cue ball just remains at the same position where the yellow is, and the yellow gets spotted, and the potting of the red becomes way easier. It's just my opinion that this time round, Kasozi's game reading came a little too short. 10 frames to 9, dear viewers. Q Masters 10 and Snipers 9. Those that are watching from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, you know the story. This one is a big rivalry. I saw very, very big support for Kasozi in Tanzania. When he was taking on the Snipers players like Jackson and Dula, the Tanzanians who were supporting Q Masters were not having any nationalistic, any patriotism. They are just supporting their guy. And I know that this match is being streamed live on Jan television, both at Snipers and Q Masters arenas in Dar es Salaam. And special thanks to the management teams of both of these players for giving this one to us. I know that Mr. Peter and Timba, you are watching, rooting for your boy Kasozi. I also know that Omari, who is not at the venue, is probably watching this at his hotel, supporting the ghost rider, Seif Hamad, who is perhaps on the verge of winning the frame, which will give him an equalizer. It will be a third frame one all in a row. He can mean to have a very, very good stroke. And now having to roll the yellow to the corner pocket, bottom left. White is natural for the other yellow as long as it plays with precision. And we'll want maybe to put both yellow and black to the same corner pocket if the cue ball can be played around the black. Otherwise, he may want as well to put black to the corner pocket. Top left is going to the corner pocket, bottom left, same pocket for both yellow and black. Not really. He thinks better and acts better and executes better as plays the cue ball into the red to support the movement of the cue ball and puts black and equalizes in the match. Seif Hamad 10 and Joseph Kasozi 10. Our race to 21 is now officially a race to 11 for 3,000 US dollars. Let's have some predictions, guys, in the comment section. Whom of the Tanzanian and the Ugandan will win this match? Will Kasozi win his first match out of 4? Will Seif win his third match out of 5? Of course, Seif also started out as a bad story, losing the first 2 matches, I think, against Dog City, the Ugandan. And I guess why am I forgetting? Since then, he has won 2 in a row. The last one was won yesterday against Kasozi's countryman Hazard. And so far, a few players with profit, those who have won way more matches than they have lost: Ishmael, and then Ibra, and then Dog City. It is basically those now. And they have almost been taking monies for Kasozi and Kelvin and Dula. Dula is probably on 0. He has won the same exact matches as his losses, winning 3 and losing 3 out of 6. Dula winning twice against Ishmael and losing twice, then winning once against Gite and losing once. I'm also informed that now Ginte has arrived in Blantyre in Malawi. Back home for him, the tour has come to an end. Seif Hamad going for a lead. The guy can really mean to have a very strong heart for competition. This is the same venue and table where he came second out of 128 of the best players in Africa 3 years ago in the first edition of the MCHANA, losing out to Kasozi's international compatriot Ibrahim Sejemba in the final. Seif now could be winning frame number 21, which will be him taking the lead. He may have played the keyboard with too much power, but he will be okay. Yellow is portable to the side pocket right with the top spin. White to follow yellow almost all the way off the cushion, and the rest is a formality. Good stroking, good cueing, good white manipulation, good potting ability, and a good way by Seif Hamad to take the lead. As he pots black, it is Seif 11 and Kasozi 10, rest to 21 for $3,000. For a 22nd time out of potentially 41, a frame has been broken. One of the very few times that the break has been dry. Every time either of these guys has been visiting the table, And dear viewers, as we return, there was a little bit of laxity by Joseph Kasozi when he got a chance to win the frame, when he got himself snookered, when he had a chance to go for victory. What has been resulting is Seif playing his defense after safety and now having an opportunity to take the frame down and gain a two-frame lead and gain more control of the match after 22 frames having been played. One thing spot now the red is looking at is the cable to be played around the yellow, maybe off the cushion, off one cushion. That was lovely skill. It was big right spin on the cable, bouncing off the yellow and just bouncing off the cushion and avoiding the yellow in what looks like pretty normal shooting. Believe you me, a shot that involved a lot of skill. Going for victory, dear viewers, is Seif Hamad having two reds on the table and misses, and a little bit fortunately snookers Kasozi only partially, but you get a feeling Kasozi has sight of the remaining yellow on the table enough to put it to the corner pocket bottom right, of course bouncing the cue ball off the cushion to move the cue ball all the way towards. He plays on target, too much power. Cue ball bounces back and forth into the red, and the Ugandan becomes a little too lucky. Of course, all he did was spot his ball. The rest worked itself out, and we have an equalizer just like that for Seif Hamad. The lesson is never to lose focus, however easy the task at hand is. 22 frames played. Dear viewers, Joseph Kasozi 11 and Seif Hamad 11, race to 21. Here comes the break of frame number 23. 11 frames apiece, with nothing to separate these players. With Kasozi breaking, with him getting to pot one red, the yellows look better positioned. The reds are fewer. Two reds spotted. It is the yellows that are more palatable. The Ugandan goes for the yellows, rightly so, closing the table. Could play the cue ball into the red. The table is closed by the Ugandan, going for apple, going for break and finish, going for the lead of the match. One yellow to be potted to the side pocket on the right. It's in. Cue ball played with top spin. And clearly, I want to think you'll want to play the yellow that is close to black next to the corner pocket, bottom left, coming closer to sealing the win that will give him the lead after a long time of him not leading, most especially after he led by 3 frames, and since then, Seif winning the next 4 for Seif to grab the lead, with Kasozi winning the 5th and equalizing. And now it is him that has more than a chance to take the lead after what will be 23 frames played. There are 2 yellows left on the table, both of which he will want to put to the same corner pocket at the top left. With now just one. As he puts it, he wants to move the cue ball as close as possible to the black. The skill he's using is backspin, throwing the cue ball backwards, but in left direction, close to the black, and good enough for the victory of the frame. He's not happy that Seif is standing up as he plays, as umpire Joseph Mugisha speaks to Seif that when it is your opponent's turn on table, do not stand up. Seems Seif is considering the frame. I'm not happy with Seif's behavior here. When it is your opponent's turn, keep yourself rooted to your seat. Joseph Kasozi will be playing, as Seif Kasozi argues with the umpire for whatever reason I don't know. Kasozi will not mind. He'll be shooting the black sharp and will be gaining the lead. Seif Hamad 11 and Kasozi Joseph 12. I'm not so certain what Seif is discussing with Kasozi. Kasozi will not want to respond. In this case, I think Seif will be guilty here because his opponent was playing Seif moving around the place. Very unnecessary, in my opinion. now speaking to members of his management that why is my opponent concerned about my behavior? Of course, this I think is just mind games for both of the players, just mind games as we continue with the match with frame number 24. Kasozi leads by 12 frames to 11. Broken by Seif Hamad hitting the red and hits it big, gets to put one yellow. The table is open and I think it is finishable. Are we looking at yet another apple? Someone help me count the apples in this one. It is starting to look a very, very, very juicy match. This is the table where we had matches like the team event final last Easter Monday. It's also the table where we had the singles final between Ian and Amadeus. But the number of consecutive clearances in this one is even getting better than what we saw in the final. That was played as well between the Ugandan and the Tanzanian. 12 frames to 11. And for whatever reason, the match between sorry, Nicholas Jackson of Tanzania and Evans Kiprotich of Kenya has been moved to the table close to the one we are playing on. I'm not so certain of the reason why. I will be advising you shortly. Maybe when we have time out, we shall be flipping the camera there now to watch what is happening. In perhaps, while I'm not streaming it, it is the slowest match, I am sure, ever since the start of the tour. Maybe the second slowest, only second after the one between, who was it? I think it was Sami of Tanzania. I think he took on Kenya's Patrick Mwangi. That one was played for 7 hours and some minutes to get the winner in the rest of 21. And the score was 21 frames, I think, to 15. Not even that close. But yes, they played out for more than 7 hours. This one will take less than half of the time, with now Seif responding to Kasozi's apple. With an apple for Seif himself. Of course, he will be putting yellow to the corner pocket top left. All he will want is not to get himself snookered, to have sight of the black, as he wants to put black perhaps to the center pocket on the right. Throwing the keyboard now, maybe into the red. Perfect. He is putting black. What will be the 12th time out of 24? And the scores will be shared a dozen apiece. Seif Hamad 12, Joseph Kasozi 12, rest to 21. And now, time out. Seif Hamad. If there can any reason to call a shot both lucky and effective and juicy, that was just one of them. I can't say that Kasozi intended it because he played a little off the cushion, cue ball into the yellow. It was played off cushion and then somehow displacing red off the corner pocket and then the yellow itself getting potted. That was very, very funny, unexpected, but very good on the eye. Joseph Kasozi leads again. It is 13 frames to 12. And sorry, guys, every time you get to hear nothing or mid sound, you know that maybe the commentator is not speaking, and if he's not speaking with that loud music, of course, the video will be affected because YouTube does not permit too much loud music in the background. But when there is another voice over the music, AI, even being AI, is confused and will not be able to detect the song, and the stream shall be safe. Now, Kasozi will want to be safe here. He has his corner pocket, which he has mastered. Then where he put the previous penalty match ball, that was so funny. Now has to put red and then play the cue ball into the pile up of reds at the left. Plays the cue ball into just one of the reds. I don't think that will exactly do. He has sight of the red near the corner pocket, but also the red that is just near the middle of the table, which he'll hopefully be potting, but not. Big miss. Cue ball into the yellow. Plays Seif's yellow dead. Again, Kasozi gets lucky here. 25 frames played. I do believe that maybe 1.5 hours at the very maximum, will be enough for us to have a winner. And given the playing speed of these players that they have already displayed, maybe that time will be even too much. That's 1.5 hours. I will assume it will be enough only if we have this match won by this header. But if it's something like 21 frames, 16 or 17, maybe 1 hour shall be enough. Chance comes for Seif, having to play maybe two ball of one yellow. Oops, it was going indirect. He, however, leaves white other than against one. Perhaps both of Kasozi's reds. Of course, it's not the frame he'll be finishing now. He will be aware that he's having a yellow ball which is dead. Further against the corner cushion, against the cushion bottom, and in between black and two of Kasozi's reds. Kasozi will be having a little problem of two reds touching each other at the top end of the table on the left. And Seif will be counting on those two. But better still, he will be knowing that he has himself a yellow ball which is dead. Maybe he now has it in mind to open up the corner pocket where there is a red occupying the pocket and the yellows and the yellow of Seif, as well as the black in some kind of way. Maybe if he puts yellow, which is rightwards to the center pocket, right? If he plays the cue ball by backspin, he could play it into the pile up of yellows, the pile up of reds and black and yellow. The other tempting shot is play the yellow, which is near the center pocket on the left, into the corner pocket where there is the red. He could even foul and remain relatively safe if he plays yellow into red and put the red. There's also temptation of combination. Simply plays safe by playing yellow right behind the red. Now that renders Kasozi's red, the one that is touching the yellow near the black, a dead ball in a frame that is being played now in the mind, not just in the body, not just by the hands. Again, coming defensive is Seif, and you get to hope that Kasozi will be responding to defense by defense, but at some time they will have to go for it. And I know that at some time as well, umpire Joseph Mugisha will want to get done with this. All want them to go for offense. Could as well tell them that they could call off a stalemate if they go for so many turns on the table without intending to pot. Whereas Seif playing the yellow is looking at maybe to the center pocket left. If he does pot the yellow close to white, he will just have one other yellow potable with ease. I'm thinking he may want to play the yellow not to pot it. He will as well play it closer to the pile up of yellows and reds, and then have the yellow is playing, also join the mix of things, plays into the center pocket and plays not to pot and achieves exactly that. And perhaps Kasozi will as well want to play not to pot. Score is 12 frames to 13. Kasozi playing to extend his lead. Seif playing to equalize. He did win a match safe against Kasozi's international compatriot Hazard at Jamlock yesterday. However, this time round, Kasozi seems to have been beaten in the mind as Seif played Kasozi into a mistake. Seif's safety's game that preempted Kasozi to go for the frame when it was not ripe for the clearance is now snookered. And I think even if he does find the angle, it will be quite unrealistic that he will be potting any of the reds. He does find one red, plays the black, close to white in a frame that is finishable by Seif. Not only because of the good position of the yellows in comparison to the reds, but also the fact that the black is right behind the corner pocket, which has Seif's yellow. He has only one thing in his mind now, the Tanzanian, to go for the clearance that will give him an equalizing frame yet again. Which yellow will he be playing first? Maybe the one portable to the center pocket left. If he plays that one, cue ball is not anywhere near natural for the other yellow. He's finding it a little difficult here, as he puts the idea is not lose the position of the cue ball and may play the cue ball into Kasozi's red, which he does and misses. The commentator's cast hits Seif. And worse enough, the yellow he's just played, Seif has played it right against the cushion, rendering it almost a dead ball as of now. The Ugandan sharpshooter. There is space between the yellow part at the corner pocket, bottom left, and the jaw of that. So what Kasozi wanted to play the cue ball, the red into, but did not manipulate it well enough. This one could go down as the most contested frame in the match, most especially given how many times the two shooters have visited the table. Seif Hamad of Tanzania on now with his very definitive shots. He does love wearing the shots. First time I streamed the game involving him, he was wearing shots when he won the Tawi Open Championship in Kitale in Kenya 1.5 years ago. A tournament that as well had Kasozi in participation. As Seif calls for the rail drive again misses. Again another chance, maybe just half a chance for the Ugandan. And he's having his t-shirt, wearing black Kasozi and black trousers, maybe his morning, and the t-shirt having the words hated, as though he thinks that he has gotten so many haters in the fraternity. Maybe some of you that watch the games online, he gets support and combines so well. Very good way to recover by the Ugandan. Potting by bank, playing the cue ball into a set yellow and potting it. A little bit of the problem now is that white is so close to the black, almost touching the black. The red that Kasozi has is in space. It cannot be potted with any kind of ease, and if he does pot to the center pocket, left cue ball is not natural for the black. That's why he has his work cut out. Pot and then maintain cue ball for black. He's nominating according to body language to put red to the center pocket left. Maybe he's going for the corner pocket top right, bounce the cue ball off the left cushion and then back rightwards. It is a miss. A miss that could turn it out that the big fight for Kasozi could now count for nothing, as the frame now even more chance he needed to win the frame and equalize after 26 frames played, as he will be attempting to put yellow to the side pocket on the left, draws the cue ball closer to the black, which he will be rolling into the corner pocket bottom left to record a 13th out of 26. Seif Hamad 13, Joseph Kasozi 13, race to 21 for $3,000 US. After 27 frames of play, dear viewers, the lead is just one, the highest that it can be, by Kasozi Joseph, leading by 14 frames to 13. And frame number 28 sees Seif Hamad breaking dry. Kasozi will clearly be going, in my opinion, for the yellows, but no, maybe the reds. For the reds, the little problem is just one ball, and has gotten to close the table Kasozi in the best possible way he can. The problem red is the one that is close to yellow, maybe behind the yellow near the top left corner of the table. And there is a solution where the red that is behind that yellow could be potted off the yellow. That will open up for another red to be potted at the same corner pocket. But all that was going to be effective only if he was going for the clearance. And after now missing, the chance comes back to Seif. This one is one of the fastest matches so far since the start of the tour. Maybe the fastest 3 at the very minimum, especially considering the time they have taken to complete the first 27 frames. This is the comparison I'll be giving you guys. There's a match that is happening between Steven Jackson and Evans Kiprotich, that is Kenyan and Tanzanian respectively. That one started 2.5 hours earlier than the match that you're watching. In that one, they have played 27 frames, score is 16-11. Now this one that started 2.5 hours later has also 27 frames played, and they are in the 28th frame. There's a huge difference in the playing speed of the two sets of players on both tables. Kasozi going for the clearance here. If you look at the situation at the corner pocket top left, that is where the frame will be won or lost. Kasozi will want, I think, to put red off yellow, and in, but not fortunate with the resting position of the yellow after having red played off it. The red is looking at is portable only to the corner pocket bottom right, I think off the black. His intention again was to play the cue ball into the dead red, which didn't come to pass. Now leaves the bad red as the only one he has to play on the table. He may play it a little off the yellow with too much power. Hoping for luck, he puts his opponent's yellow. It is a foul. Maybe not just a foul, but also the last shot that will be played by Kasozi in the frame. Of course, he went for a relatively difficult pattern, and after different attempts in the same frame to open up the corner pocket where there is a red behind the yellow, that failure was always going to haunt him later in the frame. He's now haunted. He's now having a free shot to his opponent, which he uses to set one of his yellows in the same shot where Kasozi's red is played just onto the cushion. And Seif is going for a clearance that will be, again, I think for the 7th time, an equalizer in the match in frame number 28. Pretty finishable, pretty winnable is the frame, and the match is pretty or no. Again, he misses. Relatively unexpected. He'll be having the benefit of having 2 of the corner pockets occupied by 2 of his yellows. I'm not even so certain what shot Kasozi will be trying to play. He just goes for power, hoping for luck, plays the black away, and puts the red. Not the first time, not even the second that Kasozi flukes. Just that the black has been played into his opponent's yellow. For Kasozi, I think he's going to maybe to play black off the cushion. There he is. What's black and white? Unfortunately, the frame is won by Seif. Joseph Kasozi, 14, and Seif Hamad, 14. And after the break comes Kasozi, dear viewers. Two of the last frames, he will not be happy with himself, especially how he came so close to winning them, and yet how he lost the very same frames. He really has got a point to prove here. His tour of Kenya has so far been a failure. He's so good to have lost 3 matches in a row. These are not the results that would be expected from the number 1 ranked Ugandan, at least by the Pole Association of Uganda. Now we'll be having 2 rates to try and play and put. This is frame number 30, dear viewers. Once it is done, we shall have just 10 more to have this match completed. If by The end of those 10 frames, the two players are drawing 20 frames to 20. Then we shall have one decisive frame to determine who will be getting $3,000 richer and who of the two will be getting 3,000 US dollars poorer. But so far, there has been absolutely nothing to separate the players because everything Kasozi has been doing, Seif has been matching. Everything Seif has been matching, Kasozi has been doing. Frame number 30 is once again equalizer. Joseph Kasozi 15, Seif Hamad 15, racing to 21 for 3,000 US dollars. Allow me to pass out some shout outs to some of you watching, like Dimensions. You are having to rewind to see if Kasozi is winning the frames or he gives them away. No, he's fighting, but he's just not having a good. He's just not having a good tour. Every sportsman goes through the kind of thing Kasozi is going through, and it's normally the top sportsmen that do go through that. They go through spells of bad form, and that I'm not saying he will win or lose this match. It can go either way. And now it's starting to get interesting. The players even are not contented with the way the umpires are rocking. The umpire is rocking the balls, and the umpire is talking into Seif to respect him because he does understand what he's doing. Joseph Mugisha is an umpire in pool and a referee, a top referee with the Kenya Football Federation. As Kasozi breaks frame number 31, which will be the 11th last of them all, getting to hot one yellow. I want to think we'll be going for the Reds as the table is open, as the Ugandan closes the table. Kasozi on Reds, Seif on yellows. The hope for Kasozi is not to let Seif have a turn on the table, because when he does have a turn on table, Seif, believe me, does know how to utilize his turn. As for Kasozi, highly likely the shot he will be playing this is perhaps connection. The two reds close to each other. The one that is leftwards plays one red into another. The resulting position of both of those reds will as well be okay. He'll be putting one. The one that is the red of the three that are at the top end of the table, the one that is in between them, will be potted first with the backspin, drawing the cue ball backwards. Maybe the backspin may have lacked power. Maybe it is okay. Now the red that is rightwards of the two, hopefully it is possible. And with power and cheating the pocket a little and misses the pot. Almost fouled. Maybe game reading was lacking. Sometimes precision is more than power. Sometimes all that you need is just more to make a ball, to pot a ball. If it is difficult, you rather play with intention not to put as long as you leave your ball packed. And I think Kasozi may have gotten his pattern wrong, and Seif could be punishing him here. Remember, after this frame, it will just be 10 more to go. Maybe 45, if not 55 minutes, anywhere in between the amount of time that we shall be left with to have this match played to completion. Seif Hamad of Tanzania and Joseph Kasozi of Uganda, respectively, drawing 15 frames all, racing to 21. Frame number 31 now has Seif seemingly on the verge of winning, which if he wins, will be taking a lead in the match. With now 3 yellows left on the table, putting one of them, moving the cue ball close to. The cue ball is just in between the other two, and now has choice to start with either. Wants to put one to the side pocket right first with a backspin, cue ball to be drawn a little backwards, just like that, off the cushion. Perfect. It's such a straight line between white and yellow and corner pocket, such that the cue ball has to be played with top spin and being drawn all the way towards the pot of the black, which seemingly likely than not will be giving Seif the lead. After 31 frames, Seif aims for the black and shoots and misses. And that one can very easily be the turning point of the match. It is almost criminal in a match against a player of such a level of Kasozi's caliber, for a player of Seif's caliber to get such a chance and then utilize, and yet Kasozi responds in the same exact way. Confidence starting to run out of both of these players. Seif will have to play off the bottom cushion and then play the black. Hopefully, into the corner pocket at the bottom left where there is the red, most especially off the cushion and off the red. Put it to the corner pocket at the bottom. It will be very magnificent if you pull it off. Here he aims off cushion into black, off red, that's not in, and Kasozi survives. Very competitive match with a lot of drama, a lot of tension, a lot of brilliances, but also a lot of mistakes. And frame number 31 is providing all of that in just one frame. It is 31 frames played, and the score is at 16 frames to 15, with Joseph Kasozi leading slightly against Seif Hamad, as the tour of some of the mightiest players on the African continent starts to come to a close. Though you don't miss out on a chance given with such an opportunity. You don't risk letting your opponent grab a two-frame lead when the match is starting to smell its final end. Now Joseph Kasozi has the work of potting red to the corner pocket top left, then play the cue ball into the yellow at the corner pocket on the right, plays it into the red instead. Well. I just think he should have played with the intention to play the cue ball into the yellow. There's a recovery shot that could be tempting by banking the red close to white off the cushion and at the top right into that corner pocket top left. Potting will do, even fucking will do. Is this going? Well. Very good recovery. By now putting the last red on the table to the center pocket on the right will almost certainly grant Kasozi a chance to take a two-frame lead in quite, for the first time in quite a long while in the match. He has to be on target with precision, too little power. There he goes, but misses. The match continues to deliver more drama at its business end. The chance was for Joseph Kasozi to take the lead. The same chance is now for Seif to equalize in the same match. 16 frames to 15, having Seif to pot to the center pocket. Cue ball couldn't have been played any better for the black, and will be drawing the cue ball a little backwards into close proximity to the black, which he will be potting to the corner pocket, bottom left, sorry, it's the bottom right, to equalize with just 9 frames of play left. Seif versus the black, and it's in. Tanzania 16, Uganda 16, race to 21. And Joseph Kasozi breaks the frame for the 17th time in the match, getting to pot 1 red. This is now becoming the closest match that has been played ever since the start of the tour. With due respect to the match between Dog City and Ishmael, 2 of them there was the match between Ishmael and Kasozi. Of course, one match between Ishmael and Ibra, one of them. This one, most especially how the frames have been exchanged between the 2 players almost equally. Nobody has led by a good number of frames. It has been 1 frame this side and 1 frame that side. That has been the story between Kasozi and Seif so far. And it's now starting to be predictable that maybe Kasozi will be winning this frame and maybe Seif will be winning the very next, because that has been the story of the match at least so far. Now this one could be the fastest of all frames that have been won by Apple. Kasozi will want to have a yellow to pot, and the black to the side pocket at the left will almost certainly grant Kasozi the lead in the match again. In what I think I will be timing after this, because it has been a very fast frame won by Kasozi Joseph by break and finish. Joseph Kasozi 17, Seif Hamad 16. And Seif Hamad will be breaking as well for the 17th time in the match. It's starting to get predictable that when Kasozi wins the frame, Seif Hamad responds in the same exact currency. He could be breaking dry here. The break of a frame for the 17th time in the match by Seif is dry. Kasozi's turn to try and grab a 2-frame lead. The last time the lead was at 2 frames was when Kasozi led by 10-8 just over 1 hour ago. Now he gets to close the table by playing 1 ball into another, 1 color into another. He played yellow and potted red and closed the table playing reds. He plays and pots and plays another red, having a yellow in front of it. Maybe he'll be trying to clear up for the red that is at the corner pocket, which he does. But of course, his chance to win the frame by Apple, a red one, has come and has now gone. 33 frames played, and it is now a total of 8 frames played, 8 frames to go, including the ongoing frame. Chance for redemption for Kasozi to win the first race ever since his advent into Kenya, but a chance for Seif Hamad to get his count of matches and monies ever since his advent of Kenya, now in profit. And the match is being watched at the venue by Seif's manager and other members of the Q Masters team, including Amadeus, including Innocent Sami, while others are enjoying the action now at their hotel. Steven Jackson, the other members of the Snipers team, is racing to 21 against Evans Kiprotich of Kenya. That one has gotten now 37 frames played and score is 19-12. Jackson is in the lead. Maybe he's another of the silent killers in this tour. I think he could be winning a third money match out of 4. But the second money match, he's playing against a Kenyan and winning either. The other match that he won was against who? Kasozi Joseph, and the match ended 21 frames to 18. It is Jackson who won at the time when the Easter Cup tournament was happening. Kasozi has gotten an opening to win another frame here. Sometimes he just plays himself out of the ball. Chance for recovery is putting red to the side pocket right. Simply play the ball to put it. He'll be rolling it. He'll be ensuring the keyboard doesn't move further. And he achieves exactly that. Of course, the black ball will cause a little bit of an issue for the Ugandan. Also, the fact that he's playing red against the cushion, he plays and misses. And the chance now is for Seif, but this time round it is not a chance as some of those that he has been having during the course of the match. It's a very important frame, this one. Of course, Seif, as usual, as he has been doing almost throughout the course of the match, will want to equalize again. Kasozi will want to grab a 2-frame lead, which will be a very critical one. Kasozi needs to win 4 frames out of 8. And from the 8 frames, Seif will need to win at least 5, or else will be losing the $3,000 US. Kasozi seems to have gotten snookered. He can put red, play red into red, maybe. Red into red, not really. He has quite importantly played yellow, has played white into yellow. This creates space for him to put black if he gets to that level, with Seif still having yellows on the table. And clearly Seif wants to play defense here. Hide the cue ball just behind the yellow that is close to yet another. And it is pretty much perfect snooker. As for Kasozi, the chances to play cue ball off the right cushion, try and play it into one of the reds leftwards. He's going for enough shot to come the cue ball round to reds. Risky, but effective. Nice recovery, Kasozi. Just in case you're doubting the set of skills he has in his hands, that is not very ordinary master shooting, because it had to be 2 yellows round which he had to move the cue ball, and he recovered wonderfully. Seif now seemingly going for the finish. It is finishable. The frame that Seif has to finish. He has pretty much one bad red. The yellow, that is one bad yellow that is playing now by Red Drive, trying to put it to the corner pocket top left. If he does, like he's doing, maybe he's winning the frame. Maybe he's equalizing yet again in the match. His Q Masters teammates are already clapping for him as though they are already celebrating a frame they consider to have been won by the Tanzanian. Now plays cue ball into a red. And white is natural for him to put both yellows to the same corner pocket at the bottom right of the screen, like you can see, with now 1 yellow on the table. All he needs is to remain calm. Of course, calm he has always been throughout the course of the match. Put it to the corner pocket bottom right, and then play the cue ball as close as possible to the black, which you will want to roll into the corresponding corner pocket at the top right of the screen. This is the shot. Has to play. Bounce the cue ball off the right cushion, close to the black, even closer to make the pot even easier, to the side pocket on the right for Seif to equalize. And yes, 17-17. Our race to 21, dear viewers, is now a race to 4. Seif will be having a 2-minute timeout. The stream will be on. Commentary shall be resuming upon the resumption of play. Once again, Joseph Kasozi 17 and Seif Hamad 17. Rest to 21 for $3,000. Perfectly. I am being entertained by the quality these two guys are displaying for you. I don't know so much, but I know that you are just like myself. We are having a very, very, very competitive match. Which match have we had this kind? When scores are being interchanged by the players, or as if they are intending it for one player to win one frame, the next player to win the very next. That has been the story maybe for the last maybe 18 frames, with the Castles winning one frame, Seif the other, like that, like that, like that, and Seif after winning the previous, the very next. To make it 18 by an apple, right after timing, is being won by Joseph Kasozi. It is now 18 frames to 17, and it is the Ugandan in the lead. And once again, dear viewers, we are at the great MCHANA Pop and Grill right in Kilimani in the city of Nairobi. Opposite Prestige Plaza is MCHANA Pool Club. And if you come here next month, don't get surprised if you find the place demolished. I'm made to understand that the place is going to be revamped and expanded and renewed. When the African pool fraternity are invited yet again, it will be bigger and better. Racing to 21. Seif needs to win 4 out of 6 of those 6. Kasozi needs to win 3 for the victory, for the $3,000, for the pride, and of course for vengeance. Now the break is for Seif for the 18th time. Will he put? Yes, he does get to make one red ball and another, and close to putting a yellow. Seemingly, while having potted 2 reds with reds all positioned well, he may be tempted to go for the yellows instead. This is a little bit unfair when you get to put 2 balls and yet you can only confirm yourself have potted them for your opponent. The table is closed. The Tanzanian is playing yellows with now 6 yellows on the table. The yellows at the top end of the table will be the more tricky of them 6. But yes, the frame is finishable. If he does finish them, then we shall have an official rest to 3. And even when I ask you to predict, many of you are not giving predictions because, of course, it is very difficult to predict a match that is this close. But we can have a few. Kalema Michael thinks Kasozi will lose and his tour of Kenya will be a disaster. Okay. And Jeff Coach calling this one finish after finish. You are very right, Jeff. And Dr. Spencer, you think Kasozi will win by 21 frames to 18. Where are you watching from? Foot fans, you think Kasozi should be playing reds in this frame and should be apple. He's spotting red apples. Yes, you are right about the number of red apples that we're having. Not by Kasozi, but either of the players, but most especially Kasozi. Yet another chance after yet another failed chance to clear by Seif. And they are playing just one style, both of them. And I'm really, really loving it. And in the meantime, the match that started earlier between Steven Jackson of Tanzania and Evans Kiprotich Vance of Kenya has ended in victory for the Tanzanian Steven Jackson. It has played now 4 many matches and has lost 1, winning 3. He's another of the silent killers of Kenya. He's calculating very well. He's very intentional of his choice of opponents, and the results have so far been very fruitful for him. Now Kasozi will need the same exact kind of result. I'm not certain the red is possible in between the 3 yellows into the corner pocket top right. If it does, the frame will be pretty much finishable because white is almost natural for the black. Red is potted. White is potable. The sorry, black is portable in the easiest kind of way. And ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time in a very long while in the match, the sharpshooter from Uganda has now established a 2-frame lead. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Joseph Kasozi, 19, and Seif Hamad, 17. Race 2, 21 for $3,000. Now, after the Ugandan winning 2 frames in a row and establishing a 2-frame lead, it is starting to look like the very next frame is on the verge of being won by the Tanzanian. Seif does have 3 years support, and then the black, all of them positioned in his favor for him to record what will be an 18th as he mounts a comeback, as he intends to win 4 frames before Joseph Kasozi wins 2, or else he would succumb to the loss of 3,000 US dollars. He has lost and won matches for 2,000 US dollars, but this one is the biggest that is playing and is so significant. First of all, playing against a Ugandan, that is rivalry. Also playing against a member of his former management, another rivalry, and is seemingly he's playing to the effects of the boost of playing against a rival. He wins frame number 37 and wins it by Apple. Joseph Kasozi, 19, and Seif Hamad, 18, race to 21. We yet have another 2 minutes timeout for Seif, otherwise the stream will be remaining on. Commentary to resume when Seif returns after 2 minutes. 19-18, Kasozi leading, 4 frames to go. Seif needing 3, Kasozi needing 2 for the $3K. It is time out, dear viewers. There has been awarded 3 minutes for Seif Hamad to return on table. During the timeout, Kasozi's countryman Solamato will be giving him some advice in their local in their local culture. They are brothers. They are considered real blood brothers, though not born of the same parents, but members of the same clan. 2 minutes for Seif to return to the table. Otherwise, 19 frames to 18, Kasozi leading. As the match returns, dear viewers, we are watching a maximum of 4 frames, including this one. That is, if we are to have this match head the way to a decider. With the 4 frames to be played, and the Ugandan Kasozi Joseph needing to win 2, with Tanzania's Seif Hamad needing to win 3, for the consequence of profit or loss of 3,000 US dollars. The other consequence for Kasozi Joseph, shouldn't he win 2 frames now, he would be the only player since the start of the tour to have lost 4 money matches all in a row. The other player close to his inputs bad performance is a member of his same management team, Q Masters, Kelvin Ficot, who has played 3 money matches and has lost them all against Jerry, against Dog City, against Ibra. As for Kasozi, he has lost many matches against Ishmael first, against Ishmael second, and against Jackson third. Seif, with the victory, will be starting to test profits of the tour of Kenya. As for Kasozi, shouldn't he test victory? I just have a feeling he may call it quits in terms of any further participation, unless it is a 16-man comp that could be happening. You never know. Safe. Going for a 19th, which will be an equalizer yet again. Called foul here. Very unfortunate. The Tanzanian fouls. Maybe after 3 matches that have ended in loss, it could be 4th time lucky for Kasozi Joseph, who, for a choice of shot, plays keyboard into the yellow, plays the yellow close to the cushion, and plays red packed at the side pocket on the left, just in front of yet another red, with both reds now being putted exactly at that same center pocket. Going for victory, going for glory, going for a chance to need to win just 1 out of 3 for what it could be actually 1 out of 3, yes, for what is now looking like a pending victory for the Ugandan. And it will be very significant if you want to say for the fact that Joseph Kasozi and Seif we are initially supposed to face off against each other in Dar es Salaam. That did not happen. The fact that Seif is Tanzanian, Kasozi is Ugandan, there is that rivalry, that East African rivalry between the countries, the members of the East African community, but also the rivalry between Keymasters and Snipers. That is the biggest rivalry in Tanzania. It is Kasozi now on the verge of taking a 3-frame lead, putting the easiest block of them all in the match, but so far the most important one. Kasozi versus back to the corner pocket, bottom right, for a 3-frame lead. Sorry, it is a 2-frame lead, guys. Nonetheless, a lead that has Kasozi needing to win 1 frame out of 3 for victory. Joseph Kasozi 20, Seif Hamad 18, race to 21. Now, as umpire Joseph Mugisha rocks the balls, should this incoming frame be one Kasozi, that will have become the last rock of the entire match. The break has to be big for Kasozi. Hits the red hard, 1 red potted, a relatively good split of the balls, but only relative. Of course, he will be going for the yellows. It's going to be critical, choosing the choice of ball with which he will close the table. Only one of them is portable. The one at the corner pocket bottom right, Kasozi plays yellow and puts yellow and closes the table. The sharpshooter is on yellows, aiming for apple, aiming for victory, aiming for glory, aiming for redemption, aiming for a 21st. 6 yellows on the table. The reason he's taking all the time is not just to see which ball he's spotting, but which pattern he can perfect to win the frame and win it now. Seif can only wait. Of course, he has been getting all these chances, and you cannot say never, because the match has been that tight, that tense, that predictable. But now has the Ugandan Joseph Kasozi as a big favorite for the victory, not only because he needs to win 1 frame out of 3, but also his qualities as a sharpshooter. With now, yes, 4 yellows on the table. This is where he needs his pattern accurate, because 3 of them at the corner pockets, at the top end of the table, are a little tricky. Now he can put yet another to the side pocket on the right. With the top spin, the cue ball following the yellow all the way, also avoiding any contact with the black. This is the shot. Pinpoint accuracy from the Ugandan, going for the victory. With 2 shots, he has to play post 2 yellows to the diagonal corner pockets, top right and bottom left. This one has to play with top spin, also avoid contact between white and red. He plays cue ball into red, but it will be okay. he may need another shot with the same quality, but with a much better significance. One big shot to bring himself to close proximity of the Martin. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda's Joseph Kasozi is on the verge of taking down Seif Hamad with the simple task of potting black to the corner pocket to right, which if he does, as he shoots the black sharp, the Ugandan sharpshooter versus the black and wins the match. Wait, hold on. And Kasozi loses the frame. Seif Hamad survives. The Tanzanian Q Masters team are already celebrating that maybe Seif is the luckier guy. He got so lucky after not playing at all. He wins the frame. 2 frames to go with Seif. Must win both. It is Kasozi 20 and Seif 19. Rest to 21. It is Seif breaking a frame for the very last time in the match, not because this will be the last frame, but if the next is to be played, it will be the decider and it will not be his break. He gets to put 1 yellow. Every time he puts the ball, Tanzanians at the venue celebrate. I believe more Tanzanians in Dar es Salaam are celebrating even the more. He's as well taking his time, inspecting the table, mapping out a beautiful clearance, which if he does make, if he wins the frame, then we have a decider. But the split of the balls, especially for the yellows, has been lacking only just because there is a yellow that is in between about 3 or 4 of Kasozi's reds at the top left end of the table. Up till now, the table is still open. Seif going for yellows, and Seif closes the table playing yellows. Here he is again. Kasozi will be banking on the expectation of a yellow that is in between the reds. And Seif plays the cue ball to have that yellow into space, but not spacious enough again. He has sight of 2 yellows now, the one that is rightwards of the white and the one that is close to the corner pocket bottom left. Are the yellows seen, but with any kind of ease? Not. Again, takes his time, having to demonstrate to us the reason as why he is called the Ghost Rider. Has to make this one count. He will not afford even to miss a ball. This one has to play with power, then move the keyboard towards the top end of the table in a backspin. Everything perfect. Position of the keyboard, not really. He may have to pass the yellow, close to white, in between yellow and red into the corner pocket top left. However, in a straight shot, I don't think the yellow can pass. He may play it off another yellow. Better still, have a little bit of apology for the 5-second broken stream. What is not broken is the chance, the belief by Kasozi that the frame is winnable. If the frame is winnable, the match is winnable and is winnable now. What can Kasozi do about this? Of course, has the work of playing all of them yellows, now 5 in number, and then the black with, they are reds, with one of them almost frozen against the cushion, and it's a would be bad of the reds. It has to be in, keyboard to be bounced off the cushion, perfect. Maybe for one final time, Kasozi has a big chance to win the match, for redemption, for himself, for Q Masters, for Uganda, in some kind of way for Tanzania, because he's Tanzanian managed and taking on a Tanzanian player. The Ugandan with 3 reds, all of them portable, all of them in space. and has to play one and put it to the corner pocket bottom left with back spinning of the cue ball, and it's perfect. The red to the corner pocket top left to be played first. The red to the side pocket right to be played last. Black to the side pocket on the left should be his pattern, his route to victory, to try and redeem some of the money he has been losing in 3 consecutive money matches. And yet, once again, Kasozi misses a ball. The easiest of them all, but most importantly, the most critical. Pressure, nerves at the end of the battle. I don't think that Seif was believing that he was going to have another turn to visit the table. Maybe Kasozi is not having his body and mind all in one place. You can't miss a ball that good, a ball that easy, and yet it is so effective. Almost a ball that costs 3,000 US dollars. Seif will be taking all his time. Maybe play yellow into yellow. Maybe some kind of defense. It's not easy because all of his 3 yellows are pretty much almost not portable. And it Kasozi is waiting for that one chance. Maybe at the end of the day, Kasozi will still get the chance. But I cannot even believe that it is Seif stand on table. 1 minute ago, it just looked like the very next minute will be Kasozi $1,000 US richer, but maybe not yet. Kasozi Joseph came so close to winning the last frame by break and finish, only to put both black and white. Now he has gotten even closer, and yet he couldn't do the simple formality. And has to be careful, safe with the position of the yellow, close to the cushion on the right. It could be frozen. He will want to play a safety in some kind of way. I don't even know how safety can be. Whatever he's contemplating, it will not come with any kind of ease. Maybe a sharp cut on the yellow. There he goes. There he plays. There he misses. There comes the chance. Yet again for the Ugandan Joseph Kasozi. This time round, throwing his hands around the place, looking at Seif in the face, as though communicating to him that this time I'm not letting you back. He's preparing himself for just one final clearance to win him the big money, the big match, the chance for redemption to win a money match for the very first time out of 4 ever since his advent into Kenya. He has perfect right for what will be the last raid on the table. As he puts it to the corner pocket, he has to play the keyboard with backswing, but in left direction to move close to the black. This time round, dear viewers, after attempting to win a match in 4 attempts, the Ugandan representing Q Masters, representing Uganda, representing himself, but also he does win. Finally, Kasozi wins a match in Kenya. Maybe that could be the start of more than one, especially after losing out to both Ishmael twice, and then, of course, the last match against Stephen Jackson. This time round, congratulated by his brother and friend and countryman Sulamatov, who is resident here. Kasozi wins the match. Final score in the big money match of the day. Joseph Kasozi 21 and Seif Hamad 19. Dear viewers, I wish you a wonderful rest of the evening, and may the Almighty God bless you. Good night and ciao.